I want to show you how I bring Lily into the house after she's had a long play session outside. I always call her to come to me out here, and I hook her up to a leash. I have her sit, and then I step in first just to really drum that into her that this is my boundary, not hers, and she waits. She doesn't rush through it. She waits for me to come back to her and walk through with her. Okay, I say okay, and I walk through slowly. If she tries to rush at all, I just do gentle little prompts with my left hand like that. It's hardly anything at all. I do a little left turn so I can close the door. This left turn is really important. I have this sit, I have this stationing mat set up so we can do this exercise. I have her sit in front of it, pat her chest and say, see how she wants to jump the gun? Make sure that she's not anticipatory, and make sure she really waits until you send her somewhere, like the mat. Go to your mat, and then you say down, and you can start the exercise. Make sure that, good, you put the reward on the mat. She takes the reward off the mat, not out of your hands. If she's really stimulated, when you go down there, she'll be touching your hand and trying to take the food out of your hand. You can't allow that. You have to pull back up and you wait till she's calm and that she really respects you and has enough focus, good, to wait until you release it and she takes it off the mat. It's really important because that's the state of mind you want her to go to every time you do this exercise and other things you'll see on these videos. All these different things, like these different situations, like the front door. She had to wait and focus and be in the moment and have self-control. And then here, the same thing, and then other situations as well, so that that state of mind starts to take over her life. And you see her being this way more and more when she's on free time. That's going to help you with, good, that's going to help you with her jumping problem and all the other little overexcitement issues she may or may not have. But that's really the antidote, because you want her to change and be as calm as possible. And if you're always throughout the day just doing simple things like this is just a basic downstay, but she has to stay calm and allow me to walk around her and stay down. Those little simple things take her to that state of mind where all good behavior comes from. And every day you keep on bringing her back, bringing her back, bringing her back. And you'll see her, good, over time be way calmer than before. So when she's on the mat, that's how you start out. You start out just walking around, making sure she has a solid downstay, that she can be calm and accept you walking around her. And then since you're in a place where it's safe, she can't get away or she can't go out in the street, you're in a house, a building, you can drop the leash and you can start walking farther away. Like there's a little doorway here you can't see, but I'm going back into my back hallway, closing the door, knocking on the door, that's good. Whatever room you're in, good. Whatever environment you're in, there's places you can go, things you can do that may or may trigger her to pop up. Good. Every time you come back and she's there and she's calm, she gets a reward like that. I'm going to try to do things that have her make a mistake here. Like for example, maybe if I plop down on the sofa here, it will trigger her to get up and want to come over to me. Well, she knows this too well. Good. Good. That was something that she couldn't handle at first. When I first started doing this, she would pop up. But now she knows, because we practice so many things, we toss so much at her from all different directions as far as little distractions. It's always the same thing. She always, if she makes a mistake and pops up, we say no, we stay calm. There's no corrections, but we say no. We'll step into her. Let's say she popped up. I'd pick up the leash. I'd step into her. She'd do a little left circle. Her head would be right here. I'd gently but firmly position her back on the mat where she's supposed to be. Lift my left foot. She'd go back. No reward. I'd do it again. She'd be successful. And then I'd say, good. She'd get a reward. Then we move on to the next distraction. So each time we do that, she gets a little bit better. A little bit calmer, a little bit more focused. Now this is usually the biggie. Knocking on the door. Oh, good. Good. Now we'll try more intense distractions. So if you're ever going to do something that's difficult for her to handle, it's okay to remind her, only in this circumstance, what you want her to keep doing. So I'm going to say, down. Got the mail slot, doorbell, and knocking on the door all at once. Good. I gave her a much bigger reward because that's hard to do for a dog. So one last thing, down. Knocking on windows. Good. Good girl. Sometimes she'll turn a little bit to look if the distraction is extreme like that. That's not necessarily bad, but if she completely turns her butt around, you can't allow that. That's a mistake. You come back in, no, you put her back, do it again. But just turning a little bit to look, that's okay, because especially when you're doing something that's really would be formally very difficult for her to handle. So you can do this mat exercise in any room, any yard that's enclosed, because obviously you're going to drop the leash and start walking farther away. So it's just a great way to give her a very high level of focus, a great downstay, because whatever she does on this mat, she'll be able to do without the mat as well. So wherever you want her to be calm, like the front room by the front door, or certain rooms where she formerly had an issue of being out of control, you want to practice this mat there, because even at 5 minutes a day, she's going to start associating that area that you practice this calm meditation, doggy meditation exercise in. She's going to start associating that area as, this is where I'm calm and well behaved, and they're the boss, and I'm waiting for the next command and not misbehaving. So that's why this exercise is such a good one to do. The only way she ever leaves this mat is when you come back, stand next to her, pat your leg and say, okay. And then if you wanted to release her, you just say, sit, and you'd pat her chest and say, go. Or in this case, I'm going to take her straight from the mat and put her in the crate just to show you the little crate routine that we've been doing.